Agentic AI for independent artists.
Well, I want to share with you something that's become one of the most interesting discoveries in my AI journey so far. And it starts with a problem that I think every independent artist knows intimately. When you work solo, when you don't have a marketing department or a dramaturg on call or even a colleague down the corridor, so much of what you know, what you've done, what you believe in, what you're working on, it lives inside your head and across an array of documents and recordings. All that information is scattered across grant applications and old bios and emails and keynote speeches and scripts and videos and conversations and myriads of projects. There's no single place where you exist as a whole creative being. And here's the thing, when you sit down with AI, with an AI like Claude, it doesn't know any of that stuff. It doesn't know you've spent 50 plus years making theatre. It doesn't know your creative principles or your collaborators or your values or the voice that you write in. Every new conversation, you're a stranger. And you need to know this. Claude doesn't hold a memory of you from one chat to the next. So if you want Claude to be an effective thinking partner, you need to provide that memory every time. Every time. So, how do you fix that? This is exactly the question that Bianca and Greg raised last week about setting up your AI agent as a personal assistant. And the answer for me has been to build a living document with Claude that holds the essence of who I am. Not a CV, not a bio, something much, much deeper. We're calling it Dave's Dossier. It has 6 sections: who I am, what I've done, what I'm doing, what I believe in, how I sound, so that Claude can actually write in my voice, and the key people that have been involved with me over the years. Now here's the important bit, the how-to. I didn't sit down and write this from scratch. That would have taken months, maybe even years, and I probably would never have finished it. What I did was set up a feeder folder, and I started collecting raw material that I already had: old bios, grant acquittals, keynote scripts, tour spreadsheets, reviews. And then, one batch at a time, I fed them to Claude in Cowork and said, here's some source material, find what's new, add it to the dossier. So Claude reads the documents, cross-references against what's already there, identifies genuinely new information, and integrates it into the right section without duplication. I check each round, make my edits, and we go again. So what started as a sketch built from 9 text files has grown over just a few sessions into a substantial document covering my entire creative life. Claude has processed 103 of my Substack newsletters. He's processed a 66-page PDF of Patch Theatre annual reports going back to 1992, old newspaper reviews from Jumbuck years, and mined every one of them for detail I'd half forgotten. There are quotes from critics that I haven't read in 30 years, now sitting alongside my current projects. And the crucial thing is, every detail comes from my source material, not from the internet, from the actual documents of my working life. So, what's the outcome? 3 things. First, when I start a new conversation with Claude, I point it to the document, to the dossier, and it immediately knows who I am. My collaborators, my works, my principles, my voice, the relationship has memory. Second, and this surprised me a bit, the process of building it has been genuinely clarifying. Seeing your creative life laid out in one place forces you to see patterns you hadn't noticed, connections between projects, the arc of my thinking. It's become a tool for self-reflection as much as anything. And the third thing, it's alive. It grows as I feed it new material, as my work evolves. Yesterday, I gave it a sketch of my early years, born in Mount Gambier, science degree, teaching in Naracoorte, founding Jumbuck Youth Music Theatre. And by the end of the session, 30 years of history I'd never properly documented was in there, structured and searchable. So my provocation for us in this group of ours is that if we're serious about exploring whether AI can genuinely serve independent artists, then teaching it who we are feels like a pretty essential first step. You can't have a meaningful creative partnership with somebody who doesn't know you. So what would your dossier look like? What source material do you already have lying around that you can use? So I suggest that if you haven't done this already, it's a really good starting point in co-work with Claude.
Well, thank you, Mr. Brown. I'm quite enjoying the discovery of my artistic side.